Yerby's Arcanist videos. A new intro every time, because I keep freaking deleting the last ones. So you've dabbled a bit in necromancy, summoned a demon or two, and maybe pledged your soul to the darkness. But do you have what it truly takes to be evil? It's not just about murdering the innocent or lust for power. First, you need the right spells. Evil 101. Don't half-ass this. You need spells that don't just hurt your opponents, they need to suffer. You're not some evil lackey here or a side character. You are evil. You are the essence of all that is corrupt and impure in the world, so show it. Let's look at the different spells. Fireball? Nah. Now, Exploding Skull, that deals death damage to your opponent, drains their life force and gives it to you. That's vampiric, and that is evil. Swarm of Pestilence, that deals damage to anything in a 15-foot radius and destroys all life. That's pretty cool. Death Tower, that radiates pure evil. Now we're talking. Most horrible, evil, corrupt spells are conveniently located in the Book of Underdark, which we're currently residing in. Let's pick a few more spells from this. Throwing graves at people. Throwing graves at people that turn them into zombies. Now that's pretty cool. A lot of things that are understated here about evil specifically are necromancy. They turn people into undead slaves, yes, but not just undead slaves. Your undead slaves. And that is the best part. Aura of Decay. Slowly cripples all life on the planet and drains them into your health. That's pretty cool. While we're here, let's get some more undead slaves. Wraiths. Horrible, undead, just bent beings that have solely dedicated themselves to darkness. Pretty cool. Dark Knights. Now, Dark Knights have paladins that have fallen from grace, and this is a point that really needs to be stressed. The most vile, dark part of being evil isn't like the petty theft. It isn't the, someone that stabbed someone in self-defense. No. It's someone that has dedicated themselves to the light and has fallen. The light has rejected them and they are consumed by hate. That is the most powerful type of evil. Let's continue. Death Bomb. I'm always a form of explosives. Rain of Chaos. Now, this is a different form of a spell called Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire? That's pretty cool. Rain of Exploding Chaotic Skulls. That is evil, sir. Swallowing Pit. Now, the description may say that it replaces all good aligned creatures on the field with horrible auras of decay, but what it really does, corrupts their very souls and makes them explode. The coolest thing about Swallowing Pit is that it does not hurt evil aligned creatures, and thus your zombies, wraiths, and anti-paladins will all be safe under the watchful eye of your evil. Dark Defenses. Activating this spell heals you at the expense of all of your undead allies. But are you so evil that you would sacrifice those that have helped you simply for your own good? Of course you are, because you're evil. Lastly, you have ascended to the rank of true evil. There is one spell left, one spell so dark, so vile that angels cannot speak it. Once you perform such a dark, cruel spell, your soul will forever be cast from the light, and you will be committed yourself for hell forever. Ditched. You no longer fear death, for death is now your eternal servant. You heal from the damage caused from others and gain power from their suffering. You radiate pure sickness and decay, causing damage to anyone around you who does not address you as master. Before we go on to step 2, we have 4 more slots available for magic spells. Being consumed by sinful desires takes a lot out of a young wizard, and some may struggle to cast spells that don't have the hellfire descriptor. It's fine though, because the other 4 spells we'll be choosing will be from either the Arcane book or similar low-level spellbooks. Firstly, I enjoy teleporting. Nothing pisses off angels more than demons being slightly out of reach, so let's go ahead and grab that Arcane Gate spell. Secondly, Lichdom takes time. We wouldn't want any foolish fire breathers to knock us off our undead high horses while we take over the world. So let's pick Arcane Zero Shield as our first spell, which prevents others from casting spells on the first turn of gameplay. Lastly, what's better than be able to cast fools aside with a flick of your wrist and send them plummeting to their doom? Arcane Flash is a perfect example of this wondrous spell. Now, once you've taken over the world and you're, comfortable living, you don't want to become complacent. So, as a hobby, let's choose Clockwork. The Clockwork Tower, which prevents 75 damage and recharges over 5 turns. Now, if this is your first time dedicating your life to evil and everything horrible in the world, don't feel ashamed. Many people only do this once. First thing you need to know is to move right and left, you press the Z and the X key respectively. To jump high, you press the backspace key. And to have a long jump, you press the escape key. Arcanist players that have played previously may notice the dark, jumpy character on my left side. This is not a spell. Since we have truly dedicated ourselves to the darkness, we have the access to a plethysaury. This is an object that allows you to split your soul, and in the event of death, allows you to be resummoned. Death has no longer become your enemy. Instead of showing this right off the bat, I will be showing you some of the other death spells. Keen observers will have noticed that I traded the Arcane Zero spell for the Summon Slith spell from the Ice Book. This will serve to be our enemy. Now I will be demonstrating the different spells from the Underdark book. The first spell is the bread and butter spell, Drain Life. Cast at an enemy, this will do approximately 20 to 30 damage and will transfer its health to you. Direct hits almost always do 30 damage and would heal me past the 250 mark, but right now I have full health. One more spell should be enough to eradicate our small enemy. The next spell I will be demonstrating will be the Turn Undead spell. If in the event of a battle you do actually end up fighting a Slith, it will be in your best interest instead not to kill it, but to drain its health to the 20 mark, like so, and then turn it into your undead slave. Now, this spell is unique because it actually has a very low damage rate of other spells, max being only 25. If it has a high amount of health, such to the, anything more than 25 really, it would be more beneficial to do high damage spells or try to drain its life than to use this spell on it. For the spell only works if the person is killed and thus resurrected by the evil spell. As you can see, this creature now has a red aura, meaning that I have controlling it. I'll just leave that to die later. The next spell is the evil Den of Darkness Tower Shield. The cool thing about this spell is that it damages all enemies that get in close to your radius for the shield. I'm just going to kill this guy because he will be annoying me for the rest of the battle.
Into the depths with you.
Alright. So if he would be foolish enough to jump into my my aura, he is thus damaged and confused and can no longer move. While we're here, I will be I will also be showing the Summon Swarm spell, which summons a swarm of pestilence around the enemy of your desire. If you are a keen observer, you will also notice that that just because things exude darkness does not mean they are immune to darkness. And the pestilent swarm also took 15 damage because of my dark aura. This is important later in battle. Damage by the swarm also, if it kills creatures, it also renders them undead. This is a very important detail. The next spell I will be showing will be Death Bomb, which along with killing and turning undead, it can do a maximum of 55 damage plus 15 because of the residual explosion. So this has a total damage dealing of 70. Here's a cool tip. What happens if this undead Slith touches my Aura of Decay? It does not become confused and instead actually heals damage. Very important. Next, let's focus a bit on minions. Wraiths are one of the only minions you can summon that are already dead. Wraiths heal death damage, and one of their only spells is Wraith Drain, which is the same as Life Drain from your already existing spell list. This transfers life not to you, but to the Wraith itself. Now, Yerby, I hear you ask, why did I not gain health from attacking that Slith? That answer is simple. Drain life only works on creatures that are alive. With creatures that are dead, it deals damage but does not transfer life because they have no life, and they are simply undead. This guy needs to die. The next creature we'll be summoning is the Anti-Paladin, or Dark Knight. This creature is also unique because it is evil, but it is actually not undead. Dark Knights summon from extreme armor penalty, meaning that they cannot jump very high, unlike many other creatures in this game. This is balanced out by the fact that they have two spells, one of which being the Drain Bolt spell that we have already previously shown, and the Charge spell, which has one of the highest damage ratings of the entire game, doing a full 250 damage. A hit that deals full damage has the potential to kill a single Arcanist with one shot. I will be demonstrating this on my Wraith. If you notice, that did 60 damage with one hit, and easily could have done much more. Let's show some other spells. Excuse me while I damage myself a little bit. But what? If you've noticed, I've dealt 50 damage to myself. I could heal this damage several ways with the Underdark book. For this demonstration, though, I will be using Dark Defenses. Damage ratio with Dark Defenses is 1:1. Therefore, the Dark Knight took 50 damage, and I gained 50 damage, and thus I'm at full health. If you also notice, my character is surrounded in a dark aura. This aura symbolizes that if I get damaged again by some other spell, I will not be the one that is damaged. Instead, the one that takes the damage is my Dark Knight. The other spells I will be demonstrating are Clock Tower, which resists 75 damage, along with Den of Darkness, of course, which also resists 75 damage. Oh, Swallowing Pit is also a very good spell. If you notice, it kills all creatures that have the Alive descriptor. Dark Knights, while truly pure evil, are actually not completely undead. They have a chance of being redeemed. Thus, Swallowing Pit and spells like this, such as Slith, other constructs, or other good, aligned, or even alive creatures will be destroyed and replaced by darkness with a Swallowing Pit. Lastly, the most evil spell that you can cast is called Lichdom. This truly symbolizes that you are evil and have committed your life to the darkness. You may not cast any spells that are not from the dark or arcane spellbooks, such as Clock Tower or Summon Slith. You heal damage. You heal all damage dealt to you at a rate of 7 HP per turn. You can damage people 15 HP per turn and heal off that damage. You heal off death damage. If you notice, I no longer take damage from the Grave spell. I no longer take damage from Pestilent Swarm. And if someone chooses to drain me, they no longer gain HP from it because I am no longer a alive creature. The most important element that I have not explained yet is, of course, the splitting of your soul. While most overeager liches choose to drain all of their soul with one dose and thus lose 100 HP, and in the event that they would die, they recover with 100 HP. I instead choose to only sacrifice 40 HP. Now, while on the surface this would almost appear that I am not truly dedicated to the darkness, I am actually being more cunning than they are. While it works out best in the long run if you sacrifice 100 HP, sacrificing 40 HP allows you to live slightly longer before you are resummoned. And sacrificing 40 HP instead of 20 HP means that you can also set another in the same turn. Thus, if you should die from the result of a non-light spell, you would recover with 40 HP, and thus can set another Phylactisary of 20 HP and then attack your opponent. If you should die again, you can summon another Phylactisary and continue until you summon 5 Phylactisaries. This not only frustrates your opponents, but also makes you seem invincible, which you are.
Because you're evil.
Greetings once more. Now, as you notice, most of my spells I cannot use because of my Arcane Shield, which prevents the use of offensive spells first turn. Very evil indeed. I am Yerby, of course, in the red, and I'm facing Kelnipic II. He is telling me not to sink him, which means that he does not know that I have the Arcane Zero shield, so instead I will simply choose to damage him. Actually, no. I'll be fine. I'm just going to summon Swarm on him. This deals a small amount of damage, but more importantly, allows me to have a minion, which I may use later in the game. Right now, King Pick has several different options. He can choose to tower, he can choose to summon a minion, but he actually has no offensive capabilities because of my spell. This pretty much gives me a free spell to not get hurt. It is very important because I'm a Lich. He has chosen to use a Flower Bridge in an attempt to trap me, and he may have been successful. That will take until next turn to figure out. With my Swarm, I can once again damage him. So far I've dealt a total of 30 damage with the Swarm once I do this. So the Swarm has already proven its worth. He did not successfully trap me with the spell, so I will choose to go very close to him and use Den of Darkness in an attempt to not only damage him, but to create a very powerful castle myself, so I have some defenses. Since you cannot go Lich for 5 turns in battle, it is very important to keep your health as high as possible. Along with this, it's also important to place your Phylactisary early in battle, so that you don't have to sacrifice health later in battle, when you may not have it. You may have noticed that he has just summoned a Hawk Familiar, which means that he is pure fire and can deal 75 damage per turn. Although this seems like a lot, these are actually the easiest spellcasters to face, simply because they only have high damage dealing spells. Damage racks up quickly with death spells, and already I've dealt 45 damage with my Familiar. I'm sorry, not my Familiar, my Swarm. Right now, I will be placing my Phylactisary. 2 doses, 40 HP. It still takes 3 turns for Lichdom to take effect, so I need to conserve my HP. Right now what I will be doing is that he has 205, and I believe that is just enough for me to use a Drain Bolt on him, and for him to have his tower destroyed. Along with this, I now have 240 HP, which is 30 HP more than I began battle with, if you remember that I put 40 HP in my Phylactisary. He will likely choose to either throw a Fireball at me, which will deal 75 damage, or choose Napalm, which will deal slightly higher amount of damage, but not significantly, perhaps 85, if he knows what he's doing. This is actually a rare sight. He has tried to trap me, and he actually succeeded this time with Flower Vines. I'm not sure what damage he will deal this way, since normally Fire Familiars try to go for a full offensive spell list. He has chosen to go for a Fire Shield, which makes it harder to shoot offensive spells at him. I'm not really sure what his strategy is here. Unfortunately, I am trapped, as you can see, from the flowers, but this is not a problem because I still have the use of the Clock Tower, so I can break out of my imprisonment, along with shielding myself and giving myself an extra 75 HP. King Epic II is standing on my Flectus area, so if I should die, I will actually be teleported inside of him. I'm not sure what his strategy is here. He appears to be going for a more defensive approach to the fire spellbook than is normally seen. Once again, he's trying to trap me, but I don't think he will be very successful because I'm standing in a very awkward position to be trapped. I think he's realizing this and he's going to go for a napalm. Yeah, he's going for a certain type of bomb. This bomb deals high levels of damage. Okay. He didn't throw it very well, but due to the just sheer amount of damage it dealt, it actually destroyed my castle in one hit, though it did not damage me personally. Oh, actually, I'm a bit wrong. It hit me with 20 damage. Now, if you notice, he has a shield on, and the sky is a relatively clear gray, so I will be using Arcane Flash in an attempt to not only destroy his shield, deal 50 damage, but also to sink him. The spell is moderately difficult to perform, but when performed well, it deals... it doesn't actually deal very much damage, but it makes them so they're forced to teleport next turn. Perfect shot. He is now forced to teleport somewhere in the arena, and it wastes a turn. So that gives me just another basically free spell for Lichdom. Now I can become a Lich. Interestingly enough, he chose to teleport underground-ish. I'm not sure why he would do that, especially because most of the spells at his disposal are offensive. The only thing he can do while I'm above ground to me is Rain of Fire and Rain of Arrows, both of which aren't that threatening to me, at least. As a Lich, I would like to get as close to him as possible to deal as much damage. So what I choose to do right now is to use Arcane Flash to get a little bit closer to him and make it so that he can't use very many defensive spells. Right now he is trapped, he cannot teleport, and he cannot move. So I have pretty much full reign of abilities onto him. I will become a Lich next turn, pending any weird thing happening. He summoned a dragon. This would normally concern me if I was any other player, but I'm a Lich, so the worst thing that's going to happen is pretty much his dragon's about to become a Lich dragon, which is going to be the coolest thing ever, and I'm really excited to show you guys. So now I have dedicated my soul to darkness. I have 249 HP. I have 40 HP in my Flectus area. He has a dragon on the field. It can do about 65 damage to me per turn, but considering the dragon and him are also on the field, I can heal 30 damage per turn just by being near them, and another 60 damage per turn dealing another 75 HP simply by dealing death damage to them. He only has 145 HP, and he's quickly going to die. I could choose to either kill him outright with bombs, or I could choose to slowly drain the life out of him and show you guys the epic coolness that is a Draconic Lich. So I will choose to do that, because being evil isn't just destroying your opponents, it's making them suffer. He has tried to hit me off the stage. He has failed miserably. I will punish him by throwing a bomb right next to him. This bomb deals 55 damage plus 15, so 70 damage total because of the Dark Aura. Normally, you don't throw bombs right next to yourselves because, they explode and kill you. But since it deals death damage, this will not actually hurt me. The effect of the bomb is that it healed me to full health, even if that was only a little bit of HP, and he only has 60 HP left. One more bomb should kill him. Along with this, he has not used his dragon. Okay. So the spells that I did not use in this fight, I did not use Dark Knight, I did not use Summon Wraith, and I did not use Dark Defenses or Swallowing Pit. So instead of ending this game anticlimactically with a bomb, I'm going to use Swallowing Pit to destroy any last chance he could possibly have with the dragon. As you can see, that it destroys all good aligned creatures. Next turn, my aura will destroy him. So that will be a good game to King Epic, and I hope you enjoyed the darkness, and you can use the darkness later to your best advantages. Let us wait. I assume that he will try to knock me off the edge, and in failing, he will die because of my aura. That is a good game, King Epic. I hope you enjoyed watching. Have a nice days, and you'll be out.
And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.